Good morning, Breakfast Club. Let's go. Say good morning, good morning. Shantae Moore, good morning to you, my friend. Kiera, good morning. Good morning, TBC on this chilly Tuesday morning. Y'all see what the title is, so we keeping it real calm this morning. Do me a favor, if you're already in the broadcast on whatever platform you're watching us on, go ahead, hit share, go over to Brian Fitzpatrick Ministries, hit share from there. Hey, if you know somebody, be a blessing to them. If you know one other person, be a blessing to them. If you like one other person, be a blessing to them and share this broadcast with them. Let's go, TBC. Let's get it. My brother, Demetrius Varner, good morning, sir, from wherever you are in the four corners of the globe. We got about one more minute, and then we're going to get ready to get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Breakfast Club. Hey, listen, y'all. I don't know if y'all have gone outside, if you here in Columbus, Georgia, but it's cold outside. I don't know what happened overnight, Man, I just checked the temperature. It's like 60 degrees outside. So, hey, I guess we gonna have another winter. Y'all know how our weather does. But good morning to you wherever you're watching us from. If you're watching live, or even if you are going to catch the replay, whether you're going to catch it later on today or 15 years from now, we welcome you to the Breakfast Club. I am so glad and excited to see everybody, to be here with you all one more time. And man, let me tell you something. This month of May, we have been dealing, our subject has been, we've dealt with a lot of stuff, but our theme has been get over it. And so we've talked about unproductive behaviors and mindsets that really keep us from being the best that we can absolutely be. And we got one more to deal with today, and then we're going to wrap this series up. And so we're not going to waste any time. This is going to be easy, I think. This is going to be easy because I know this is one that we have all done. I know this is one that we have all done. Maybe you're not an overthinker. Maybe you're not one that overworks or overdoes it. You have pretty good life and work balance. But this, what we're going to deal with this morning, I know we absolutely all can do this, and it can happen to us at the blink of an eye. And so I'm going to give you the title first, which is simply 2 words, calm down. Now, I want to read you the text, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit. And I'm going to bring you some insight around a subject that I train pretty frequently, and that is emotional intelligence. Big fancy word. I'm going to break it down. We're only going to deal with 2 parts of it, but they absolutely have to do with what we are going to deal with this morning. So, hey, listen, before we get started, do me a favor. If you are live with us and you're not just listening, you got access to a share button on whatever device you're watching us on. Go ahead, hit that share button. Send the broadcast to somebody that you love, that you care about, that you want to see win, that you want to see get better. Let's get this out there. Let's put it in front of people, and let's blow this thing out of the water. My goal is I want to try to break the internet, right? That is one of my life goals. I don't even know if it's possible, but that's how big I think. And so let's begin to take the Breakfast Club to somebody. So find at least 2 or 3 people. Don't keep it all to yourself. Share the Breakfast Club with somebody else. All right. Y'all know how we do. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. So we coming from, for our foundation, Ephesians chapter 4, verses 26 and 27. This is coming from the Passion Translation. I don't use this one often, but every now and then I like to just crack over in here, because this is another one of those plain English translations that really does stick tried and true to the original text. Because y'all know I am not King James adverse, because we're going to look at it in that too. And it might sound a little bit more familiar to you when we get to the King James, but I got to show y'all this in the TPT. Don't let the passion of your emotions lead you to sin. Calm down. Don't let anger control you. Calm down. Or be fuel for revenge. You want to clap back and get back. Calm down. You ain't James Brown. Not even for a day. Not even for a day. Not even for a day. Don't give the slanderous accuser, the devil, an opportunity to manipulate you. Calm down. I don't know, man. I just heard from Medea, I just heard Brown in my head just for a quick second talking about getting manipulative. Don't get manipulative out here. Don't give the slanderous accuser, the devil, an opportunity to manipulate you. Calm down. Calm down. Now, here's the one that we probably have all heard, and this is from the King Jimmy. Be angry, but do not sin. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath. Calm down. Calm down. That is our subject. If you're taking notes, go ahead and tag that title to your notes this morning. Simply 2 words. Make sure you use the quotation marks. Calm down. So in our text, we find the Apostle Paul talking to our folks in Ephesians. And, you know, I've read this, be angry, but sin not, time and time again. But I never asked myself the question, why was he telling them to not be angry, I think one of the reasons is that if you know anything about the city of Ephesus, you know they had a lot going on. It was a hub. It was a lot of hustle and bustle, but most importantly, y'all, it was a lot of people. It was very heavily and densely populated. It was a lot of people. So they had a lot going on. They had some things going on. Remember, in this time of the New Testament, Christianity, Christ followers, this was a new faith. This was, the church was being born. It was in its infancy. And so because it was in its infancy, all those other deities and the worship of all these other deities was still in existence. And so there was a lot that went on in Ephesus. I dare say it went down in Ephesus. And so it was, if you were a person of faith, a new Christ follower, it would be very easy for you to be opposed. At this point, that was heavy during the time. People were being opposed for what they believed. And so now Paul has to admonish them and let them know, listen, you are going to be challenged. Matter of fact, y'all all ain't going to even always get along with each other. And that's what he's talking about. You're not going to always get along with each other. And I got enough common sense to know that. Is anybody else on the broadcast other than me know that it's hard to get along with people sometimes? Man, let me tell you something. Even if you're the only person that live in your house, sometimes it's hard for you to get along with you. Oh man, let me say that again. Sometimes it's hard for you to even get along with you. It's hard for us to navigate this world of emotion, in particular the one that he's focusing in on, anger. There are a lot of emotions out there. And it is incumbent upon us, and it is important to us that we manage them all effectively. And so what we're really talking about, sticking with our theme of getting over it, well, what do we need to get over? We got to get over overreacting. That's really what he's talking about at the heart of this. But he uses anger as the template because that is by far one of our strongest emotions. And so he uses this as a way to show people there is a way for us to handle situations. There is a way that we can navigate our way and still walk out our faith and still live the life that we should live, to still be Christ followers, to still follow God, to still be productive, to still be good parents, to still be good wives and husbands, to still be good friends, to be good sons and daughters, to be good servants. But at some point, we're going to have to deal with this emotion called anger, and how we react to people, how we react to situations, how we react to challenges. Y'all, it all ties into how we go about doing what it is that we do. And so if we put it in the context of how we deal with our goals, we need to know and deal with the callings that we have and the careers that we have and the things that we do from one day to the next. Then we got to understand that there's going to be some times where things are not going to go as planned. And so it's important for us to learn not to overreact, because when we begin to overreact, we lead ourselves down this path of anger. And this emotion has a way of grabbing a hold of you and not letting you go. How many of y'all have ever heard somebody? And it's definitely going to be somebody, because I know nobody on this broadcast has ever said this, because y'all got this all figured out, has ever heard somebody say, the more I think about it, the madder I get. Glory to the Son of Man. The more I think about it, the madder I get. And when you start to talk to them about it, you find out this is something that they've been mad about for time, just days and days, and sometimes years and years and years and years and years. Anger has a way of grabbing hold and not letting go. So we have to be able to effectively manage this emotion called anger, because people will push your buttons. Somebody gonna try. Your kids might try. You tell them, Joker, to go wash the dishes, and they go outside in the garage. You tell them to go outside in the garage, and they in the bathroom somewhere. And you just can't, for the life of you, figure out, what am I doing wrong? And so you feel that emotion start to rise up on the inside of you. Maybe it's that coworker. They took that pen off your desk, your good pen, that good writing pen, and they didn't return it. And you feel that emotion. Maybe you in a meeting and your boss starts to tell you there's something new, there's some new process, some new system, some new something that we got to start to do and use. And you just don't see the point in it. You think it's overkill and you're not happy about it. And you feel that emotion starting to rise up on the inside of you. So we have to be able to navigate this thing called anger and stop overreacting. Now, in order to do this, we first have to understand that there's a difference between reacting and overreacting. Reacting is a natural response. That's what we see in the text. That's why Paul says, be angry. He gives us a pass on having the emotion, but he says, and sin not. So what he says is there's a difference between reacting, being angry, and it causing us to do something that is sinful and out of character. Overreacting. They are not the same thing. He gives us, well, let me say it like this. The Bible does not tell us that we should not feel anger or any other emotion. Emotions are a part of who we are. It is a part of our DNA, our genetic makeup. However, we know Scripture also tells us that we have not a high priest that does not understand our infirmities. So all of the things that we experience in this life, Jesus also experienced them. Jesus was not half God and half man. They need to stop telling that lie. Jesus was not half of anything. Jesus was all God and all man. And so because he was all man, he understood our infirmities. In other words, he understood the human experience. So the Bible does not tell us that we should not feel angry, but rather it points us here in the text to the fact that we must properly manage or handle our anger. So if I ask you right now, what do you do? What do you do when you start to feel some kind of way? What do you do when you start to feel offended? What do you do when that person done got on your last good nerve? That's what my grandmama used to say, the last good nerve. I got some nerves, them bad nerves, but that last good one that was keeping me on the straight and narrow, that was keeping me from cussing you or cutting you, you done got on that nerve. And now that you on that nerve, you in the danger zone and you don't even know it. What do you do when you start to feel that way? What do you start to do? What do you start to do? Somebody said in the chat, people be out here peopling. Right. People be out here peopling. What do you do? Are you an overreactor? Because the laws of physics says that for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. Y'all, when it comes to dealing with our emotions, the same principle still applies. So for every action, there is an equal reaction. The problem becomes when we overreact. It's kind of like coming in the house and you see a line of ants on the counter. Instead of getting something and wiping the ants off and wiping the counter down or spraying something on it and wiping the counter down, you go get a hammer and you start trying to bang the ants with the hammer. Overreacting. That's overreacting. That is an opposite reaction, but it is not equal to what you are facing. And so we have to get to the point where we effectively manage our emotions, especially this one called anger. Because listen to how he puts it, but sin not. Anger will cause you to do something out of character that you can't take back. Something that I'm sorry can't fix. So we got to get this thing under control, and we got to be able to navigate through it. So I want to help you a little bit this morning to do just that. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right, let's go. Let's get it. So the question becomes why? Because anger improperly expressed does damage on the outside and the inside. Let me say that again. Anger that is not properly expressed will do damage on the outside and on the inside. Let me show you what I mean. If we don't properly express the feelings that we are going through, and in particular this one, but there are some other emotions that we can put in this category as well, but we ain't got time this morning. And if we don't properly do that, what's going to happen on the outside is we're going to do damage to the people around us, right? We're going to do damage. We're going to do emotional damage. Some people, if you ever been in a fight in your life, you might have did some physical damage. I'm not saying, see, I know y'all all good and saved now, but I'm just saying once upon a time, right? You might have did some physical damage, right? You might have had to yoke somebody up once upon a time. I'm just saying, right? And so we tend to do damage on the outside, but we also, not just physically, but verbally, we can do damage out of anger. Because when we start to feel that emotion, our tongue get real loose, our lips get real loose, our minds start racing, and we start thinking of all the stuff that we can say. We want to talk about them, their mama, their grandmama, and everybody else, and we can do damage. We do damage with our words. We do damage with our words. And I remember growing up, they were talking to parents primarily, but I think it really did apply to everybody where they said words hit harder than a fist, right? They were talking about abuse. And words absolutely can have a lasting impact. So we have to watch what we say. The Bible says that we are to let no corrupt communication proceed out of our mouth. And so words do damage outwardly. Words do damage, but those same words can also do damage internally, because eventually we are going to calm down. Eventually we're going to realize we have done and said something that is out of character. And so it can then begin to linger on the inside of us, and now we start to feel guilt, which is a whole nother thing, because when you start to feel like that, it'll cause you to shut down. But also when we talk about how this can do damage internally, some people, because they can't properly express that they're upset or they're disappointed or whatever the case is, they tend to pin everything in and they hold everything in. And so eventually it's kind of like shaking up a Coca-Cola can. You've got all of that pressure in there. Eventually you have to pop the top and you have to let it out. And so we have to be able to navigate this. I hope I'm painting the picture for y'all and I'm helping y'all understand how important it is for us to calm down. Stop overreacting to everything. Okay, they cut you off in traffic. Y'all listen, y'all know how many cars it is on the road. It's going to be okay. As long as you get to your destination in one piece, your car in one piece, and you arrive safely, that's the most important thing. So we have to begin to think about the bigger picture. We have to begin to think about the bigger picture. We have to begin to think about the bigger picture. So, in order to do that, we have to bring in this subject of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, simply defined, is our ability to recognize and understand emotions in ourselves and emotions in others. So there are four key components of emotional intelligence. I want to tap in to two really quick. The two that I want to tap into are self-awareness and self-management, because these have everything to do with us, how we can navigate our way through and how we manage not overreacting. Self-awareness, number one, is our ability to recognize and understand our moods, emotions, and drives, as well as how they affect others. Layman's terms, your triggers. What is it that sets you off? What is it that really grinds your gears, or what really gets under your skin? Whatever, whatever kind of colloquialism that you want to use, that is what self-awareness is. It is important for us to understand what those things are, what those moods are, what those emotions are, what those attitudes are, what those beliefs are. We need to understand, and we have to be aware of our makeup. We have to be aware of our wiring. Now, let me tell you something. Y'all probably got that one person, that one family member that when you see their name on the caller ID, you have to kind of take a deep breath. You got to take a step back. You kind of got to get your life together, get your mind right before you answer the phone and you talk to them, because they're a little bit challenging, right? Maybe they talk real fast, or maybe they always complaining. Maybe they the person that always asks for money. I don't know what it is, right? But it's that person that we've encountered in our life. Even if they're not around, we've had that person or had people in our lives that for whatever reason they grind our gears. I call them sandpaper people. I call them sandpaper people. They are people that just rub us and they grind on us. However, let me give you a different perspective. Sandpaper still serves a purpose. Sandpaper is rough and abrasive and it does all of that, but sandpaper helps to shape. Sandpaper helps to smooth things out. Sandpaper helps to knock away things that are not useful, help to take layers off. So if you think about it, those same people that really grind our gears, those same situations that really grind our gears, they're actually building something that's very, very useful on the inside of us when it comes to overreacting and not overreacting. And it is called patience. It is called patience. It is called self-control. Oh, yeah, that's in the book too. Look over there in Galatians chapter 5 and look around the fruit of the spirit. You're going to see both of them guys over in there, because those are things. How y'all think the fruit of the spirit is developed in our life? It is developed in our life because we deal with situations. The fruit of the spirit is all about how we manage relationships and how we deal with people. And so we have to be able to first and foremost be self-aware. The second thing is we have to practice good self-management. This is our ability to now that we're aware of it, now we have to have the ability to control, or keyword redirect, disruptive impulses or moods, right? So we have to engage our propensity to suspend judgment and think before we act. Self-management. How many of y'all that have children have ever told your kids you need to think before you speak? How many of y'all have ever been told you need to think before you speak? Glory to the Son of Man. That's a good one right there. You need to think before you speak. This gonna make sense in a minute. And so when we talk about self-management, what we're talking about is our ability to disrupt those impulses, to disrupt those moods, and suspend our reaction to a later date to make sure that the reaction that we give is equal and proper, that we don't take something that's really, really small and allow anger to push us into this place where it's now turned into a whole thing and it wasn't even necessary. Somebody took your parking space at Wally World and you about ready to get out your car and be like, or better yet, you ain't gonna even get out your car. You about to get ready to pull a whole Medea and drive your car up in the grocery store. Y'all, I don't know how many parking spots in Walmart parking lot, but it's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. Pick another one. It ain't that deep. It's not that deep. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. All right. So I want to show y'all something really quickly. I want to show y'all something. And the best way that I could think to describe this, and my slide is a little messed up here for some reason, but I want y'all to notice the picture. This is the picture of an air traffic control tower. So I had this vision of my good friend Michael Shepard. He is a retired air traffic controller. I don't know if this is what he used to look like when he was up there with his binoculars and everything, but I know as an air traffic controller, he would help people, help planes, multiple planes at one time, land safely to get the crew, the pilot, and all of those passengers down on the ground and to their destination safely and in a timely manner. So when I started to think about strategies around helping us to not overreact, FAA came to mind. Now, FAA is the Federal Aviation Administration. But for me, y'all know I love a good acronym, and it is freeze, analyze, and act. So I want to give y'all 3 things real quick that you can do to stop overreacting. Let's go. Number 1, you need to freeze. Hold what you got. Hold what you got. Listen to what Proverbs 21:11 says in the English Standard Version. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. Hold what you got. Hold what you got. This is self-management. This is what self-management looks like. Our ability to suspend judgment and react. A fool gives full vent to his spirit. Listen, let me say that again. I don't know who that's for. A fool gives full vent to his spirit. Stop just saying everything that just pop into your head. The first thing come to your head, it come flying out your mouth. And a fool gives full vent to his spirit. Stop telling everybody everything. And this is what we do. Notice that word vent. Oh, I'm just venting. I need to vent. I need to vent. Have y'all ever gone to your venting partner and you vented to them and you didn't feel no better at the end? You want to know why? This is why. Because a fool gives full vent to his spirit. In other words, you put it on display for everybody to see. And you done told these people, now, oh, these are things that get on their nerves. And then we wonder why it keeps coming back over and over and over and over and over again. Because we've not overcome the challenge and we have not met it head on. And y'all know me, I'm all for meeting a good challenge head on, but you got to meet it head on with the word. So freeze. That's number 1. Number 2, we have to analyze. Look at what Proverbs 14:29 in the Amplified says. He who is slow to anger has great understanding and profits from his self-control. Let's go back to the fruit of the Spirit again. Y'all do realize that self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. And so what we're doing is now that we've stopped, we took a beat, we paused, we frozen, we held what we got, we held our peace, we had somebody to hold our mule, whatever it is. Now we're going to analyze. Because once you stop and once you slow down, now you can really analyze and start to critique the situation, what's going on. And that's how you're going to determine what your response needs to be. But if you don't analyze it, you're going to go flying off the handle and you just going to say whatever it is that pop into your head. Or worse yet, you're going to do something that you're going to regret later on. But watch this. But he who is quick tempered exposes and exalts his foolishness for all to see. But he who is quick tempered exposes and exalts his foolishness for all to see. Y'all listen to what I'm telling y'all. My brother Demond Lyle, you're going to appreciate this. Even a fish don't get caught if it's got his mouth closed. Even a fish don't get caught if it don't have his mouth closed. Y'all, we have to take the time and we got to analyze. But we so quick to fly off the handle about every little thing. That gets on my nerves and this frustrates me. We scrolling on social media. Man, if you doing all of that scrolling on social media and you always find something that upsets you and gets on your nerves, maybe the problem is not social media. Maybe the problem is you. Because for whatever reason, you seem to keep in your scrolling stopping on these things. Y'all do know that the devil is always walking about seeking whom he may devour, seeking whom he may agitate, seeking whom he may aggravate. That is what he does, and he is always on his job. So we have to be slow to anger, because that's where our understanding of situations is going to come from. And that's how we practice self-control. And last but certainly not least, we act. So we freeze, we analyze, and then we act. Come here, Jesus. Matthew chapter 5, 23 and 24. So if you are presenting your offering at the altar, and while there, watch this, you remember that your brother has something such as a grievance or legitimate complaint against you. Y'all, we got to stop, because this messed me up last night. I've read this verse so fast for so long, and I've heard it quoted so long that I missed something. And while there, you remember. In order for you to remember something, you had to already know it. Hold on a second. I need y'all to see me. In order for you to remember something, you have to already know it. That means it was already told to you. So what Jesus is really saying is, if you get up there to the altar with this gift that you want to give, with this seed that you want to sow, with this talent that you want to use, and you trying to present that thing, and you remember. How do you remember something? Because they already done told you. So we ain't even talking about a person that you are unaware of. No, you already know that you've done something to offend that person. You already know that you already have an alt against that person. You already know that y'all potentially beefing, and maybe they don't even know it. But look at what it says. It said, now, when you remember that they got something against you now, and the only way for you to remember it is for them to have told you. That's how you remember. It comes back to your memory. Again, R-E is the word again. It is defined again. Woo, I feel that. That your brother has something against you, agreement or a legitimate complaint against you. Leave your offering there at the altar and go. First, make peace with your brother and then come and present your offering. Stop walking around and being oblivious to the things that people are telling you. Because there are things sometimes, y'all, that we do and say that are offensive, they are hurtful, and we have to go back, and we have an obligation as faith people to go back and fix those things. Leave your gift at the altar and go. And it's not because you don't know what you've done. Stop telling that lie. It ain't because you don't know what you've done, because if you remember something, that means you already knew it in the first place. Glory to the Son of Man. You already knew it in the first place. So y'all done had a conversation about this. You had an inkling. You had a feeling. You had a feeling. It was something in your shanana, in your shully. You saw the look on their face when you did it or said it. Man, go back and fix that thing. The whole point is reconciliation. The whole point is reconciliation. And really what Jesus is talking about, y'all, is another principle of emotional intelligence, and it's called relationship management. It's called relationship management. It's our ability to build and maintain healthy relationships. It's what emotionally intelligent people do. It's what we do. It's what we do as believers. It's what we do as believers. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, don't let your good be evil spoken of. Right? And so we always have to err on the side of reconciliation. Everything that Jesus did, even in discipline and correction, it was all about bringing people back to right standing. Even David, after he had sinned with Bathsheba, said, God created me a clean heart and renew again, re-R-E, new, make new again, make it new again, because it was right. Once upon a time, a right spirit and a clean heart, right? That's what he said. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. Calm down and stop overreacting. So we're going to practice engaging our personal air traffic control tower, and we're going to freeze, we're going to analyze, then we're going to act appropriately. All right, y'all. That's the Breakfast Club. Man, I hope y'all got something out of this. Y'all, listen, we are wrapping this series up. That's our last one for the month of May, overreacting. And I think this is one that we can all practice this week. So y'all already know what your homework is. Go and practice keeping calm. Because one thing that I know, as parents, we got to be calm. As spouses, we got to be calm. As employees, we got to be calm. As bosses, we got to be calm. As citizens, we got to be calm. You see this? So calmness, y'all, it's going to permeate every area of your life, whichever one of those that fit you. And then even the ones that I didn't name. So this week, your task is simply calm down. All right. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Wrap up. It's supposed to be a little cool today. So y'all don't go out there, with your short sleeve shirts on and get a cold or nothing like that. Make sure you might want to put some long sleeves on. Check that weather, because that thing said it's only supposed to be like 65 degrees a day, and it's supposed to be raining all day. So y'all already know what that means for us. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all already know how we gonna end the broadcast. Come on and say it with me. Y'all can't get strong unless you lift heavy stuff. Y'all be blessed. Be encouraged. I'm going to see y'all next time. Oh, before I go, June the 10th, Reset Foundations is going down. You still got time right here in Columbus, Georgia, Harvest Coffee House. Hey, it's happening. If you ready for your mid-year reset, hey, go to my page, click the link. Y'all get signed up. We still got a few slots left. Come on, let's get it. See y'all there. All right, I'm out. Peace.